Well, hello there, Earthlings. Welcome back to the Thundering Dice channel with your boys, the Thundering Dice Brothers, and we are back with another esoteric game stream of consciousness. We're going to step away from Wheel of Time and Lord of the Rings for just a wee moment and turn our prodigious brains upon the Broncos. Like that alliteration there, folks. I can't put that on the spot. Here we are on the heels of Monday Night Football. The burrowless Bengals were hapless against the ferocious Broncos pass rush and the juggernaut that the offense is becoming. Let's put it that way.
You started out strong. It was a firm middle, but then kind of fizzled off at the end. But yeah, you are right. Yeah, them without your Burrows definitely was an interesting game against the Titan of Bo Nix.
Yeah, so I don't know how much stock we can really put into this win besides the fact that it was a get-right win. We needed to win, right? I mean, the two quite devastating losses that preceded this game, the heartbreaker against the Colts, the penalty that negated the loss of the missed 60-yard field goal, gave them 15 yards. He bangs in a 45-yard field goal and we lose with 0 seconds on the clock. And then, of course, Chargers, we just can't stop them at the end. We can't do anything at the end. We gave up a game-winning field goal again with time expiring. So, heartbreaking losses. We could be 4-0 right now.
We should be 4-0. It would have been excellent, but no.
The Broncos, 4-0 in our hearts, 2-2 in the stats.
Yeah. The two losses in the middle, definitely sad, and that was pretty hard to watch. I mean, some of the problems with our penalties definitely followed through with us on our latest game. We got screwed out of probably around 2 touchdowns against the... I was going to say the Burrows, but I was like, no. Against the Bengals.
Yeah, I don't know if it would not guaranteed touchdowns, but I think we were moving the ball really well in both of those drives, and it wasn't execution that was killing us there. It was Luke Wattenberg killing us. At least for one of those drives, I think you can almost
he absolutely killed that one drive when it was the back-to-back penalties against him.
And I swear, I'd never heard that penalty be called before. The illegal snap or something. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I guess that's just like a super false start.
Yeah, that one
can only be applied to the center, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, hard to say. And then also like the catch interference was another penalty that I'd never heard of or seen before, and that that benefited us, but it was still really freaking weird.
Yeah, I swear, recently the Broncos are just good for one weird penalty I've never heard of.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Obviously, that's my bias because I don't watch every single football game. I just watch every Broncos game.
Yes, because those are the only games that matter.
Sort of.
Those are the true games. The rest of them are just, like side plots.
The other ones are fun to watch, but...
Because you can just, watch football and don't give a shit about necessarily who wins. It's more like, all right, there are two teams and I hate one of them more than I hate the other. So let's, make sure the Chiefs lose or the Raiders lose. But
exactly.
For the most part, yeah, it is a little more chill where you can just kind of relax on the other teams. Like, oh yeah, this is just fun. It's just some football. There's not too many massive stakes. I can just, I can just relax. But yeah, with the Broncos, you definitely can't. But flipping it, if you were not a Broncos fan and you were everyone else in the league, or a Bengals fan, you got to watch a freaking shutout of a game where where one of the teams only made it into the opposing team's defensive area once. Yeah. That's a pretty bad game for everyone else to watch. I mean, like the Reddit was rather, the NFL Reddit was rather funny, and the game thread, as you were saying, was just like everyone's like, this is so boring, this is so lopsided, nothing is happening, it's game over, let's go home.
Yeah. People were just like, "What am I being subjected to? Did I get paid to watch this?" Because it's funny. It's a very, very different experience to watch this as an outsider. Now, if I were watching this and this is like, I don't know, the Saints playing the Titans.
Oh fuck!
I really wouldn't be that invested, right? Be like, oh well, okay, this is pretty dumb, and I'm pretty bored.
We'd probably stop watching.
And the thing is, too, the score doesn't look that. I mean, it's lopsided. Obviously, 28-3 is lopsided. What's really lopsided, though, is when you look at the yards total. That's when you really know how dominant it was on one side versus the other. You know, we're talking over 500 yards of offense for the Broncos and 180-something yards for the Bengals.
Yeah, it's a nice 3-to-1 ratio. I do like it.
That's rough. That's rough, boys. But you
really
know,
rough. About as rough as your girlfriend turning into the moon.
That's rough, buddy.
Yep. Yeah, but like see, I mean, like we were also talking about, like, you know, like obviously quarterback is the most important position on a football team, because if you don't have your A stringer up, all the other problems become that much more magnified. But it also makes me wonder this game, like, what else is going on with the Bengals? Because the fact that I'm not going to say they completely collapsed, because that's an unfair way of looking at it. But it was like it was a pretty substantial rout.
I mean, you remember our matchup from last year, 2024, against the Bengals. It was another kind of like it was a shootout between the two teams. It went over to overtime. We should have gone for 2 in the last second, you know. But anyway, it was a great game. It was a shootout. Went to overtime. It was exciting. And that's why I think this game ended up being scheduled at Monday Night Football, because they anticipated the Bengals will have gotten better, the Broncos will have gotten better, and it'd be a great matchup again on Monday Night Football. You can't really anticipate that Joe Burrow is going to get hurt, you know.
With a nasty injury. I mean, tearing the ligaments underneath your big toe and having a rehab time of 3 months. That's devastating.
That's most of the season. Like, and what's the point, honestly? Let's say he comes back after 3 months, and we're sitting in like the end of the season, you know, week 15 or who knows what. He's got a couple games left to play. Is he really going to come out and want to like just drag his like, I don't know, his 4-11 team through a couple more weeks, or is he just going to like not play at all this season?
I mean,
no, I was so close up the stairs. Never get stuck in the stairs. It's like the golden rule of this game.
Yep. Stairs is where you go to die.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, I kind of assume that he'll probably still want to get some field time once it's rehabbed and he's able to play, even if it is just for a few last games. But then again, also they might like get their shit together, and their second string might suddenly turn out to be really good and get them into a decent position where they might potentially go further into the season or into the postseason. So, I mean, I guess it really depends on what their record is, but I don't really believe that they're going to have a winning record this season.
On the evidence of what we saw last night, Jake Browning is not it. Very few backup quarterbacks are. You know, we talked about this earlier, how there aren't even really like 32 amazing quarterbacks in the world. There's, you know, they're like, compared to the rest of the people in the world, they're all amazing. The second stringers are amazing athletes. The third stringers are amazing athletes. They understand the game of football better than you and I will ever hope to.
Yep.
You know, but to play the starting position in the NFL, there are only 32 of those slots. And of those 32, how many of them are like, you know, franchise quarterbacks, people that you're ready to ride or die with? Just know that your team is better with them in it than without it. Like Joe Burrow, he showed why the team needs him so much, why the quarterback position is the most important position in sports. Because that team, with all the stars that it has, like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, without Burrow slinging it appropriately, they had nothing. They could get nothing going. I mean, it also helps that you have the defensive player of the year on your wide receiver 1, and you have an elite cornerback 2 in Riley Moss on your other side, who's able to actually make sure that you complete less than 50% of your passes on his side. And the thing is, I kind of forgot about this, but I was thinking about this more because we were kind of bitching about Riley Moss a little bit with some holding and what have you. His name gets called a lot on the broadcast because he's opposite Pat Surtain and people don't throw to him. So they throw to Riley Moss a lot more. And he went up against some of the premier wide receivers in the league last night, and he only allowed a few catches. So we should give him his flowers too.
Yeah, it was just frustrating in real time seeing the penalties happen over and over. You're like, oh, come on, man, you can do better. But yeah, take a step back, a breath, hindsight, you are 100% right. Definitely got to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Not even maybe benefit of the doubt. Like,
well, no, yeah, not benefit of the doubt.
Like,
no,
we should maybe just like give him some props.
The...
Like, damn, dude, like you're getting targeted more than any other cornerback in the league, and you are pretty much locking it down. You are he was good coverage on these wide receivers. It doesn't necessarily matter who's throwing the football to them. The wide receivers that he's covering are still going to be running their best routes, ostensibly or theoretically, every single time. So it wouldn't have, if he was a bad cornerback, they would have gotten past him a lot. But he was sticky on them constantly, and this is the nature of being a DB in the league. There's always like you have to ride the line between pass interference and just aggressive cornerbacking, right?
Yeah. Yep, definitely.
But how about the offense? Like, all right, let's talk about the obvious glaring problem again still. Penalties.
Yeah, a lot of penalties.
And pretty much, for 2 drives straight in the second half, it seemed like it was nothing but penalties. We were just going backwards. These really stupid, like 3rd and 27 or 3rd and 24.
Yeah. Yeah, like some of them are like just stupid mistakes, just like random holds and shit like that. But yeah, but then like you have like the real egregious 15-yard ones that just screw us. Like, I feel that we probably could be doing. Well, I mean, obviously could be doing better on that, but
let's go upstairs.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Well, I think every team could always do better on penalties, but I think that we're kind of
in a special case.
We're bottom or top of the league, however you want to look at it, in penalties right now. Not at the top or bottom, you know what I mean? We're not like number 32, but we're close to it.
Yeah. We're in the wrong space.
Yeah, we're on the wrong side of that.
Yeah, it's I mean, I guess that's all mostly down to coaching and individual temperament
and discipline. I mean, if it's a personal foul and stuff like that, that's really temperament and not letting your frustrations get the better of you. Other things like lining off sides as an offensive player, that's happened twice now in the last 2 weeks. And I don't remember before these last 2 weeks, last time I heard of a offensive player lining up in the neutral zone. Like, I just don't hear that very often until recently. Not that I can recall, and I think I wouldn't be surprised by it if I had heard it more. That's something I'm used to hearing on the defense. False start is something you hear on the offense, and offsides, what you hear on the defense. That's just kind of what I'm used to. So hearing it called twice in 2 weeks isn't good. Those are, I can't remember, 5 or 10-yard penalties on the offense. I don't remember. Holdings, 10-yard penalties. Those suck.
5, I think.
Illegal snap. That was dumb.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was definitely dumb.
Yeah, the drive killers.
Yeah, definitely drive killers. But the run game, started out slow for us. I mean, the first quarter definitely did not feel like our running game was just dead in the water. It felt like, but after that, especially when you're talking second and third quarters, I felt like the run game just electrified.
Oh my God, J.K. Dobbins came to life in the second quarter. I mean, the whole offense did.
We finally got a 100-yard rusher.
Yeah, that's right. 101 yards and a touchdown for J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, and then Harvey, to go in for the 50 run and then the 46 receiving yards for a touchdown too.
And a touchdown as well. Yep. So basically, 96 scrimmage yards, 100 yards rushing, and then 2 touchdowns, one apiece. That's a pretty good running back performance right there. I think that's pretty elite.
Yeah, I was definitely pleased with that. Both threw a lot of really good throws downfield that just were not connected. It's just off, either through the hands or off the tips of the fingers. There were multiple times where I feel that, I mean, at least 4 or 5 I can think of. There
were some definite drops. Evan Engram had one drop that I can remember that was might have been probably wouldn't have been a first down, but still a few yards. We had Troy Franklin drop a couple, which is pretty rough. So yeah, there are like 3 or 4 probably legitimate drops that happened.
Yeah.
Even Troy Aikman and Joe Buck were like, yeah, Bo Nix should probably have closer to like 400 yards and another touchdown here if his receivers could catch. Preach.
Yep, absolutely. But as an overall though, summary, I mean, like, obviously you're gonna nitpick all the things that are wrong and penalties and all those, you know, drive killers, all that type of stuff. You know, very reasonable to talk about. But stepping back once again, you know, 28-3, that is a pretty excellent end score, and how much we held them in yardage. Like, yeah, definitely tighten this shit up. It wouldn't have been as great of a game, you know, had Joe Burrow been in, or if we were playing against another more
a better quarterback.
Yeah, better quarterback in a team that's a little tighter.
Here's the funny thing about that, though. It would have been a better game from a fan perspective.
Yeah. Oh, for fuck's sake, dog.
Is he actually down there with you?
Yeah, he's just barking, like, right at the top. Are you freaking kidding me? Yeah. Everyone, Kilo says hello.
Yeah, jeez.
Shit. I know I was going somewhere with this, but... Oh, yeah, would have been a better game, but still we would have... Oh, crap, we gotta turn on the power, that's why we're...
Oh, crap, what are we doing? How do we forget that?
Yeah, we're too busy in football. We're just screwed ourselves now. Like, there's no way of getting out of here. We have to just defend this position and hold.
Hold! Men of the West! This is appropriate for our defense.
Right?
What kind of a Lord of the Rings themed nickname can we come up with for our defense?
Let's see. Lord of the Rings. Nickname for our defense. What would that be in Lord of the Rings?
I can't think of anything, but...
Yeah, I honestly can't think of anything either. Yeah, I'm drawing a complete blank.
And even Men of the West doesn't necessarily work that great because, yeah, we are, like, in the western, like, part of the United States, but there's a lot more west of us.
Yeah, a lot more west of us.
It sounds pretty epic, though.
It does. It does sound epic. But, I mean, if you don't know the reference, Men of the West, you just be like, alright, yeah, what's that mean?
Like cowboys or something? Like, are we in Wyoming?
Yeah. I mean, they're called the Broncos, so, yeah, you know. Broncos, trusty steeds. Let's call them Donkey.
Well, back to the donkeys. Use the pejorative. 2-2.
Yes.
How do we feel going into Philadelphia to play the defending Super Bowl champion Eagles on Sunday at 11 o'clock in the morning, no less? 9 a.m. Eastern.
I'm not necessarily. I'm cautiously optimistic, but with a side of potential resignation to losing. Because we've had flashes of brilliance throughout like all 4 games, but there hasn't been like a full game that's just given me
where it's
like
got
a lot
put together.
Yeah. It feels like we're operating this jigsaw puzzle at 70% capacity. But that 30% is a pretty big wild card right now and can fucking kill us really quickly.
Yeah, I guess so. People, of course, last season and this season, we were all sort of worried about the slow start, and I was mentioning it during the game we were watching yesterday. I was like, maybe this means that this is sort of the game where it all gets put together again. It's our Tampa Bay game from last season where Bo finally looked like he'd put it together and could win us some games and looked like a good quarterback. If that's the case, then awesome. We're 2-2 instead of like 1-3, but.
Yeah, but until that a pattern is established,
yeah, it's really just an aberration until it's happened. Until we can repeat it, like
yeah,
I'm not sure if it's real or not. Like, how real is our defense? I really don't know. Like, I hope it's as real as it sometimes looks, but I still worry about Alex Singleton playing a better team because that middle of the field, that inside linebacker, like I feel like we could get to the running back sometimes a little bit earlier. We could get to tight end a little bit earlier. We could not miss tackles slightly more often, or I should say we could miss tackles less often.
Yes,
if we had a faster, more explosive linebacker core. And I know Dre Greenlaw is that guy for us. Apparently, maybe if he can get healthy, we won't know until week 8. I think, or week 9 is when he's eligible to return from his short-term IR, which that's rough. That's rough. That's a half the season already gone. So now maybe this all works out perfectly, and he comes back at the right time of the season when we're heating up, and then suddenly adding that little extra juice to the defense makes it just like a cut above, and we start cleaning up, and we go in the playoffs healthy with a defense that can scare people. That would be wonderful.
Yes. That would be wonderful.
But right now, I think that the defense is a little bit suspect. I mean, the Colts gashed us with their running backs and tight ends. That was tough.
Yeah.
I gotta think that the Bengals might have done something similar. Would have been better with a better quarterback as well. He just elevates everyone around him.
Yeah, definitely true. Yeah, the defense started out really strong. That first game, I was like super impressed. I was like, all right, so this is kind of like a repeat of last year. It seems pretty solid. But the last 3 games have, not so much this one. There have been obviously problems with the defense that we've been talking about. But like the middle 2 and 3 definitely seem to have real dramatic drop-offs on things that were just not happening at the very beginning of the season.
Yeah, for defense.
Let's hope that this trend is reversed and we now start strengthening off of this win and like the momentum shift, that we get from it.
Yeah, momentum is a real thing in the NFL. And I hope that they came to play, they cleaned up, they won in a way that was dominant. They should have won that. They should have won it easily, and they did. It looked like they were having fun. Yeah. Now, what would it look like against the Eagles? Like, will they be having fun still? Because I think that
I hope so.
When you see a team kind of like playing fast and loose and looking like they're having fun, it probably means that they're doing well. A team that's really tight and frustrated and stymied constantly, you can just tell their body language is off. They're playing frustrated and angry. They're committing dumb penalties.
Kind of like the Bengals.
Yeah, the Bengals were not having fun last night.
Yeah. Yeah, they were having a definitely cry fest time.
It makes me just really, really hope that we don't lose Bo Nix, and that if we do, Stidham is a bit more serviceable than Jake Browning is as a backup. I think he is. I think he will be if it comes to it, which I hope it doesn't. Obviously,
Yeah. But that brings me actually to that. Since you just reminded me of it, the constant pressure that Bo is under and having to scramble out of the pocket and throw over his shoulder. I love that he's able to do it. I love how athletic he is. It's a great quality in a quarterback. But I wish that our O-line would just give him.
I think the O-line did a great job. I think a lot of those were designed.
Well, you might be right.
I think he had a lot more time in the pocket yesterday than he did the other couple days. He looked like he was a lot more comfortable yesterday than he was the last 2 days. Now, last 2 weeks. Now, I will admit, he looked unsettled. The pocket collapsed a little bit more last couple weeks. He was scrambling a lot more for his life. Here, I think he got out of the pocket a lot, sort of intentionally. Some of those looked like designed bootlegs. Those times when he's running out and it looks like a free runner coming at him, that's a design play to have that quick, mobile run out, bait the defender, make that throw, make the catch easier, kind of naked bootleg type stuff that Jake Plummer was so great at.
Yeah, you could be right.
I
mean, I'm sure you are right. Yeah, to a certain. Yeah.
I think the O-line did good, except for Luke Wattenberg.
Back to him.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about the O-line and blocking and pass blocking and run blocking and all that jazz. Like the run blocking was obviously outstanding yesterday. We had a great running attack. Pass blocking was pretty damn good. This was a career high for Bo, I believe. 300 plus yards. 3 total touchdowns, 1 pick, which I don't really hate the pick very much because it was one of those picks it was in the end zone. It was 4th and 1 from the 2-yard line. Do you want to maybe run it just to pick up the first down? Do you want to take that shot? If you throw it out the back of the end zone, then you look like a fool because, what's the point of throwing out the back of the end zone on 4th and goal, basically? So he took a chance. He put it up in the end zone, and it came down with the wrong player. That was more like it was a weird short Hail Mary is how I'm going to think about it. Because yeah, you just kind of put it up there like maybe someone will make a play on it. Okay, fine. So instead of turning it over on downs and they start the 2-yard line, they're going to start the 20, which isn't the best thing, but they're still starting pretty backed up, and my defense can take care of business today, which was the case. They went 3 and out, and it was great. So I don't hate that pick compared to other picks that he's thrown. Now, when Bo threw a pick inside the 13-yard line last week, ooh, that was a crusher, that's a game breaker right there in a situation in a game like that, So,
yeah.
I don't hate that pick too much. The rest of his stat line looked crisp, looked pretty damn good. He would have had probably, we were talking, maybe even closer to 400 yards. Had a few more of those balls been hauled in, maybe another score.
Yeah, I definitely think at least 1 touchdown was taken away from us by not having... not getting connection between Bo and a couple of the receivers.
Yep.
And then, obviously, at least 1 touchdown was definitely taken away from... Or at least a field goal was taken away from us by... Or the potential of a field goal by the penalties on one.
Yeah.
No, not Wattenberg.
We could have at least, all we can say for certain is that it would have gained us at most 16 points, assuming we went for 2 on both touchdowns. But I know it's ridiculous. So the game could have ended at something like, 44-3. It could have been a real blowout. Because if you look at just the yard differential, I mean, if you go up and down the field 5 times, you expect to score 5 times, right? You got 500 yards of offense. You think you would have scored pretty close to 5 times. So if we had scored on every single of those possessions, we would have scored at least between, 15 and 35 points.
Yeah.
Which is pretty widespread. Actually, more than that. I didn't think of 2-point conversions. All right, now I'm getting a little bit far afield and getting loopy.
Yeah.
And I don't have my hands free for a calculator. My brain is not that good of a calculator right now.
Same as you.
Yes, well. Okay, it would have been 5 more points rather than 40 points or something. I don't know.
Fuck.
Yeah, it would have been between 15 and 40 points is how much we could have scored if we'd scored in every single drive.
That would have just been a really... If we would have scored all the points where we potentially could have, it would have just been humiliating.
If we just went for 2 every single time we got down there, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just rocking with this foul right here.
Nice. I got RPK right now.
Oh, nice. Well, next week against the Eagles, short week, traveling to the East Coast, early morning games. For some reason, we always suck at those games. I don't know if that's just a notion that I have in my head or that's borne out by statistics or fact or not, but it seems to me that when we travel to the East Coast and play 11 a.m. or 9 a.m. Eastern games, we don't play awesomely. So this is the time to change that. We have a better coach now than we have in quite some time.
Damn straight.
Who is that perk up there?